Had a few people ask, just kind of a little show and tell of the tools that we use with the tool cart and what we got in the toolbox and stuff like that. So this is basically the setup that I take with me when I'm going down the hill to work on a bus or over on our pad here. So since we got the side-by-side, I'm able to make some changes on things. I've got some waterproof boxes. So these are weatherproof, and different ones are loaded up with different tools. This particular one here is all of our power tools, electric tools, cobalt tools, mostly. I'll go through all that later. This is all Detroit Diesel specific tools, so mostly Kent Moore stuff in there. Pretty much anything just to work on a two-stroke Detroit Diesel that I need, for the most part, unless I'm getting into like blowers and that kind of stuff's not in here. But it's all specific for that. But I can keep it on here and not have to unload it. It's always on the cart. Oh, we got the shop vac on there. Just some other miscellaneous things in there. But, so we made a hitch for this trailer that we had, welded on there, and then we put a pin, and it's got a lock pin on it. It stays on there. It's never come off since I've done that. The biggest concern about this is center of gravity. We don't want it to tip over. So I make sure that this is loaded with a very low center of gravity. All the weight is really on the bottom of that cart. The tool cart itself is actually bolted to the cart down there with the wheels on it. But you can see the wheel stance isn't really wide on it. So it is sort of wobbly. It's never tipped over. I've taken corners pretty fast on it. I've had it on a couple of wheels bouncing around. I had to go with a solid, never flat tire that's on there. I'll probably go through the stuff on the top first and then kind of finish up with some of the other things. So number one, like I said, I keep the center of gravity weight low on this. So the top of this box, pretty much so to this drawer right here, there's maybe 15 pounds of tools, I think. So it's very, very low. So screwdriver sets, kind of common things. These are some screwdrivers that we had specialty made from Snap-on. They'll make them if you buy the stubby screwdriver, and then you pay for the warranty replacement of the regular shank on there. So I actually use these a lot. They're very convenient to use. Those are probably my number one go-to screwdrivers right there. And then I got some, these are some DeWalt brand. They're nice. And I got old Craftsman that I use a lot too. I got some gloves, flashlights. That's one of the O-lights. This one actually charges while it's in this little case, so the flashlight is inside there. When you pull it out, the case charges at like 3.7 times. It's a pretty nice little, bright little O-light. And I can charge that all here with the power station that I have on the cart. And this is another O-light here, super bright. Small little Snap-on screwdriver set and pick set. A couple of Blue Point magnets. The Snap-on hose pick is used a lot. It's one of my very favorite tools that I own, actually. A mirror down in there. Pry bar set. A couple of them, different sizes. Just a little magnetic storage tray while I'm working on stuff. But again, this whole area is just empty. I keep extra charging cords here, and this is for the RV power stations that we have on the property that are 30 amp, in case I need to plug into them for somebody or have that accessible. And this I just use as kind of a work area up here while I'm messing. Looks like I had a bird shit in there. This drawer here, basically empty. Tire chuck, power probe, use that quite a bit. Oil filter strap wrench, 1/2 inch and 3/8, depending on which way you turn it. And gasket material. Again, almost no weight. This just has some extra rings in case we break a ring while we're doing something. Some testers and some zip ties. Again, keeping the weight down low on this thing, so that drawer is basically empty. Plier drawer. My Cobras aren't in here right now. I just took them over there to open up something, but I use those a lot. So the Cobra brand of the Nipix pliers that I use, and that's the adjustable wrench one. Hose cutter, snap ring pliers, some vice grips, regular pliers, axle nut, cone pliers, some little dikes or side cuts, small little hammer, needle nose pliers. So Just a variety of different things in there, but not a lot. This is just kind of a miscellaneous drawer. There is a wrench set in here. Some different tips and stuff if I need them. Some adapters. This we get oil pressure or air pressure readings with that. Best scraper ever, these carbide tip scrapers. JB Weld, nut buster, all the different. This is some Loctite 660, thread sealant, high temp silicone, the right stuff, and some red Loctite. A couple of my specialty wrenches, just for different things. I use those a lot. This particular cobalt and 1/2 inch and 5/16 I use a lot on the setting up the heads. I just like the size of these. They're thinner than some of my other ones, and they get in there real good. A couple of wrenches that I've had to make and modify for different projects. Those are all kind of laying loose in here. This is the socket drawer. Not a ton. There's not a lot that I have to have down here. This is an old set of snap-on stuff that I picked up on, I think I got it off Craigslist. The 1/2 inch drive, shallow and deep wells. And then probably my go-to 3/8 drive, semi-deep snap-ons. Use those a lot. That's probably what I go to the most. 1/4 inch drive I use a lot too for just little stuff that I'm fiddling with. That's 3/8. That's the 1/2 inch older snap-on. This one's kind of cool. This extends if you pull this collar back on it. I don't know if I can do this while I'm on the phone. So you get more leverage on it. It's adjustable. Give you a longer handle on it. A couple of flex heads over here. These are just some Harbor Freight ones. These are the locking extensions, so your socket doesn't fall off the end. They're pretty nice. 1/4 inch drive snap-on, 12 points. And just some miscellaneous extensions and stuff, and adapters. 3/4 to 1 inch, 3/4 to 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to 3/8, and some impact, universal, different stuff like that. So again, there's not a lot of weight in this drawer. I keep it mostly empty. I want all the weight to be down low on here. The most weight is right there. That's all of our 1 inch drive and 3/4 inch drive socket sets. Pretty much so everything like from 1 inch to like 3 inch I think is down here, and then I got the axle sockets and stuff there, the axle nuts that are like 4 inch. But that's a lot of weight right there. And then my larger wrenches, that goes up to 1.5 inch set on all that stuff there. And then obviously the Milwaukee tools, where I've got the M18 3/4 inch drive impacts, some batteries, extra batteries. This 3/8, use that a lot. There's another 3/8 impact down there. Some more extra batteries. The charging station I have on here so the batteries can get charged on the charging station. That wrench roll there, it's a cobalt roll, but all the wrenches in there, most of them are the Icon wrenches. There's a full set of Icon in there, and then I double up with some 6-point wrenches. They're Snap-on or Mac. I got different brands in there of like the most common sizes. 3/8, 1/2 inch, 9/16, and 5/8. I have all of those in a 6-point boxed in wrench, just because a lot of time I'm dealing with some rusted and corroded stuff, and a 12-point won't want to round or strip too easily. That giant crescent wrench back there, that thing's like 2 feet long, comes in real handy. And then I got my tools back there for setting the torque on the axles. There's a bunch of torque wrenches down in here. 1/2 inch drive, 3/8 drive, 3/4 drive torque wrenches out here on the outside. Rubber wheel blocks, some dead blow hammers, and a little sledgehammer. That small roll there with the green, that's all chisels and punches. That gets used a lot as well. And then on the end, I have that power station, which I'm going to do a video of just that someday soon here. That thing's been amazing on there. It's 2,000 watts. We run the shop vac with it. I've run the pressure washer with it. We can charge the bus batteries with it. It has the solar panels here that charge it up, keep it charged up. Those fold up and mount on the back side of my cart there, and they just bungee cord on there. But this does AC and DC power. It's got a whole bunch of power outlets on it, and they're all weatherproof. It has the charging station on the top for wireless charging. You can just lay your phones on the top there. It's pretty cool. This thing here is pretty neat too. It's a foam pad. It's kind of like an accordion. You can lay it out as a flat thing, or you can just sit on it. My daughter got me that for Father's Day, and I've been using it, and it's pretty awesome. Again, so I have full power station in here, and then these cords, some of these are run up to here where I can just, plug the chargers in up here and not have to worry about anything. Never Sees, battery cleaner, brake clean, some high-tack PB blaster, a Forma funnel. You can make your own funnel. Use that a lot. Some tire chocks. That squirt bottle there, that is actually Croyle in there. So we could buy it in a gallon can, it's a little cheaper, and then I have it in a squirt bottle. And some more can storage on the back of some brake clean and stuff. One of our Patreon members brought me all that brake clean, and we let our Patreon members come visit us here at the property, and a lot of times they come bearing gifts and stuff, so that's all really nice. But that is the tool cart there. And then maybe I'll do a different video of another time of these, showing you with all the tools that are inside of them. Again, this one's the Detroit one. This one is all like power tools, Cobalt. I have Cobalt socket sets in there. Cobalt impact, air chisel. My big air chisel's in there too. So just extra tools like that I want to keep out of the rain, that I can just carry in here and not have to cover up. So this thing at night, when I close the lid on it, lock it, I have a blue tarp, goes over the top, and a couple of bungee cords wrap around it on the bottom, and then nothing ever gets wet in there. I haven't had any issues. And we've had this now for, I'm gonna say for like 4 months maybe. And I know a lot of people were very worried about me tipping it over, but because of the way I have it loaded with all that weight on the bottom, and the top is basically empty, I don't take corners very sharp. I don't go backwards with it. And I've not had any issues, and I kind of go slow. Although I've been getting more and more ballsy with the side-by-side, being able to go a little faster with it, especially down the hill, but I do enjoy it, and it's nice to have a little workstation and have all those tools with me and easily accessible. So it's a nice little, it's just a Harbor Freight tool thing that we left the wheels off of, and then we bolted it to the bottom with some big fender washers through that grating under there, and I mean it is attached to the wheels. I mean, you would have to really, I don't know that I ever will knock it over, but I'm not going to say that I'm not going to. But as long as I keep the weight low, I think I'm going to be okay. And I enjoy having it. Okay, so inside of this one, miscellaneous feeler gauges that I use for running the rack and setting the exhaust valves on the Detroits. The vacuum pump for testing the wrist pin seals. Wrist pin installer tools. One of my Patreon members made me this, which is actually a fuel, so we can drive a fuel pump with it and a drill and prime the engine. It's pretty cool. A governor gap tool, some extra head studs, guide studs when we're putting heads on. Kentmore tune-up wrenches are in here. My puller bolts that I use for pulling out liners. An extra shim in there that we use. Down in the bottom, there's a tachometer in that box on the top. It's a photo tack. Underneath of it is a Kentmore complete tune-up set for the Detroit. And then underneath of that is another case that I have, like my compression tester and stuff like that for the two-stroke. The snap-on timing gauge, the dial caliper timing gauge for all that. So this is just Detroit tools in that box, stored out of the weather. So I had that weatherproof O-ring on the top of the lid, so that seals that all out of there. This has got my drills and cutoff wheel discs and all that stuff. Again, it's mostly just a Cobalt set. Pretty much everything in here is Cobalt. So we have an additional socket set in here, a drill, cutoff wheel, impact, quick charger, and then some different attachments for the air hammer there that thing's awesome, that Chief. That's a Harbor Freight deal, but that's their big one, and it's pretty amazing with what it does. So again, this case I just used to carry that stuff in there. You know, cut off wheel, flap disc, stuff like that. That gets used a lot. Air chisel, just another rubber parts. When you're taking things apart or whatever. It's a sorter tray. Comes in real handy. So there it is.